did your leadership journey begin?
I think oftentimes when people think of leadership, they think leadership begins when you have people, right? So when you have people assigned to you, they think that's when leadership begins. And I look at it a little differently. I think leadership begins by leading self. We learn about leadership based on the leaders that we've had. And everyone's had a good leader and everyone's had a bad leader.
I know in my business, one of the things I'm on a mission to do is help everyone enjoy Mondays. I know some people don't start work on Monday, but I want people to jump up whenever their work week starts and be excited to go in.
The one piece of feedback that I've gotten is there was a time that I had to sit down and have a discussion with an employee, and the employee came to me a day later and said, the hardest part of all this was I felt like I disappointed you.
These interviews are making me emotional. I just want to let you know that I think that might be one of the biggest lessons that many leaders can take with them, is that we're dealing with people that have lives outside of work, people that want to do good at work. But the idea of just dropping everything, that I felt that I could actually see, for me, it was seeing someone just drop some bags. This is what my stuff, I'm dropping it right now to not deal with, but to be with.
I don't think I would be in this role if I truly didn't believe in lifelong learning.
Hello, Staci. I am so happy to have you with me today. How's everything going in Indiana?
It's great. It's a beautiful day in Fort Wayne, Indiana. It is sunny and 73, low humidity. We'll take that all day long.
I bet you guys will do that. Well, this podcast is all about sharing basically stories, one leader to another leader, about how leadership has transformed us as individuals, as well as things that we do to lead others. I have a basic set of questions, 6 or 7 questions that I'll ask you. And feel free to answer to the level of your comfort, and hopefully some stuff is really good and juicy. I'm sure it will be. The first question I have for you is, how did your leadership journey begin? How did you get started?
I think oftentimes when people think of leadership, they think leadership begins when you have people, right? So when you have people assigned to you, they think that's when leadership begins. And I look at it a little differently. I think leadership begins by leading self. Being cognizant of how do I lead myself? And I've always been a person that wants to lead with integrity, wants to be authentic in who I am. And then, somewhere along the journey, I acquired some people. That's when my true putting those skills to work and really influencing and impacting others began. So I would say, it was being aware at a very young age. I grew up in a family business, and recognizing leadership began, as early as 3rd grade, when we were required to work in the family business, and how you treated customers and how did you lead yourself. I would say it started as early as 3rd grade for me.
You mentioned you had a family business. What type of business did you run, and what were you doing in the 3rd grade?
Yeah. So my dad owned a farm machinery business. He bought it when he was very young. At the age of 30, he bought a farm machinery business, left manufacturing. He was one of the people that worked in automotive, very secure career, left that and started a farm machinery business. So we left family about an hour and a half behind and moved to a different area in Indiana. And we were required to work in the business. So you're working behind the parts counter. So individuals would come in for farm machinery parts, and you were required. My mom was there, very, ingrained in the business, and you were helping find parts. She would tell you where they were. You were going in retrieving those. You may be answering the phone. If she was busy doing something, you knew how to answer the phone. Also, one of our responsibilities was mowing the lawn. It started early for us. And, we were taught how, you treated everyone with respect. You may have an angry customer, but, you needed to maintain self-control and treat them with respect.
Wow. Trying to imagine you as a little third grade Stacy, dealing with people from all walks of life, happy, angry, and still being able to maintain that composure. I'm sure that sets you up to handle many situations throughout your life, and even in your current career. What is it that you currently do in a leadership capacity?
Yes. So I am an employee development manager for a steel manufacturing company. I've been with the company nearly 25 years and in a leadership role probably for the past 10 years.
I love to hear that people have found places where they can grow throughout a career. Not everyone has that opportunity and privilege. Well, as you've been in this role of leadership over the past, you said 15 years?
About 10 years of
Over
leading, yes.
10 years? Okay. Thank you for clarifying and reminding me. So the past 10 years, how has leadership, an official capacity role as a leader, help you grow as a human being?
I think it just has made me more aware. In my role, employee development, the beauty is I receive all the training first, right?
Mhm.
So those nuggets of training, applying those and seeing how that affects my team. So really just being a sponge. I think that we learn about leadership based on the leaders that we've had. And everyone's had a good leader and everyone's had a bad leader. So understanding, what works effectively and really getting to know that individual on the team and knowing, what influences them, what makes them tick, how can I make them better? Inspiring them every day because showing up to work shouldn't be something that you dread. Showing up to work should be something that you enjoy. And I want everybody to enjoy the job. And I think oftentimes, I've had individuals leave my team, even leave the company over the course of time. And I can remember sitting across from that individual and saying, I truly want what's best for you because I care about you as a person. And they're like, but this is going to affect you. And it's like, it's not about me. This is about you and you truly doing, what feels purposeful. It's not about me. And, if that's what's best for you, then that's what's best for us.
I would love to believe that every leader is like that. What's best for you is best for us. And I know that is not always the case. How did you develop this philosophy? You mentioned you're the first one that has interactions with these different trainings. I don't know if it was a training that helped you come to that conclusion, or maybe it's just something you felt all along. How did you get that idea that what's best for you is best for us?
Yeah. I think over the course of time, being in an HR related role, you see individuals that find their fit. And when someone finds their fit, there's just, there's just a glow about them. And, they're inspired. They inspire those around them. And when they don't, they're not in the right seat on the bus. They're not doing their best. And I would hate to think that I had been in a career almost 25 years that didn't feel right for me. And that's what I want for others. And to me, it would be very selfish if, I wanted less for you than I want for myself. So, that's what it's about. I want the most for you.
On behalf of every person you've led, I thank you. Not that you need my thanks, but I say thank you because that probably put a little seed in their heart to do the same thing as they move forth in their career, whether they're in a leadership position or not, an official leadership position. But that idea that you probably conveyed in conversation and in the way you treat people does good and helps people really take care of themselves. And I love how you said when you see individuals that fit, they have a glow. They have a glow about them. And I know in my business, one of the things I'm on a mission to do is help everyone enjoy Mondays. I know some people don't start work on Monday, but I want people to jump up whenever their work week starts and be excited to go in because I love what I do. And it sounds like you are the same way. There's something that I think that we can learn from those that we lead. What is one piece of feedback that you may have received from a direct report over the years that has stayed with you, and what did it teach you?
You know, I think the one piece of feedback that I've gotten is there was a time that I had to sit down and have a discussion with an employee, and the employee came to me a day later and said, the hardest part of all this was I felt like I disappointed you. And that was so moving to me that, you know, they felt that way. And I certainly never wanted them to feel that way. And I said, you know, you are never going to disappoint me. You know, the conversation was not about me being disappointed. The conversation is about your career. And, you know, the thing that happened, I could see that maybe affecting you in your career. And I would never want that. You know, I look for you to have a long-term career at this company. And so it was merely course correction. Don't ever think of it as any more or any less than that. And you will never disappoint me. I care about you and you will not do that.
How was that received by them? That you wanted, this was course correction. You're not going to be disappointed in them. Mm-hmm. How was that received?
You know, it has really opened the communication lines. And the employee came to me recently and said, you know, I've been trying to decide how to have this discussion with you over something that had happened. And, you know, the employee said, I now know I just need to put it out there. You know, I don't need to worry about how you're going to receive this. I just need to put it out there and you're going to be okay with it because it's just the two of us being us. And I said, you're exactly right. Just throw it out there. And we're going to, you know what? We're going to tease right through it.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm over here. These interviews are making me emotional. I just want to let you know that as I hear stories and people sharing how things like this, open communication, caring enough to listen to your direct reports, what they say to you, and then just sharing your honest feelings. Like, again, I go back to, this is the correction piece, but I love how it opened the lines of communication and it allows you to connect. Mm-hmm. And there, I mentioned this probably in every interview I do. I go to the Gallup Press and a book they put out called The Power of Two. And the idea is two people coming together. As individuals, they can get things accomplished, but when they come together, they can get more accomplished. And they say in their research, if individuals have 3 to 5 power of two relationships at work, that increases retention, it increases engagement and enjoyment. And not everything is going to be roses,
right,
at work,
right.
And there are going to be these difficult conversations. And it sounds like through the integrity you have and joy you have for your work and your desire for others to do the same, that you're able to have these difficult conversations in a way that people don't take offense. And you show them how to do the same. So this employee can just say, Staci, I didn't know how to do this, but I figured we'd work it out. And because of that, you have that positive dyadic relationship. I love it. And I'm going to, that gave me time to swoosh away my little tears. I don't know why I get so emotional. I want to talk about the leaders that you've had, or one leader that you've had. You've mentioned we've all had good leaders. We've all had not so great leaders. Mm-hmm. Can you tell me about a leader that has had a positive impression on you? And feel free if you want to just mention first names, whatever, or you don't have to mention any names, but who was it and why?
Yeah. I would tell you it's one of the leaders, one of the founders of our company. I had the pleasure of working alongside him as his assistant early in my career for 5 years. And it was interesting when he came to me, his current assistant was leaving, and he came to me and he said, we've worked well together on some things. And, if you would like to, I would like to work with you. And so I joined him for 5 years as his assistant. And part of the reason that I did that, it wasn't because I was aspiring to be the next best executive assistant at the time, right? It was because I had watched him for 3 years in my career. And when I started, and he had such a way with people that I thought, I need to get closer to that. And I need to learn more about that. And the only way I can do that is by overhearing conversations, understanding his thought processes, all of those things. And I would tell you, it wasn't like one big thing that he did. It was all of the little things. It was remembering somebody's name, asking about their family. When they came to you with any issue, dropping everything and focusing on them, because in that moment, it was the most important thing to them. So when you made it the most important thing to you, they didn't forget that. And, I learned so much working alongside him. I'll never be as great as he was. I know that. But just to have had that opportunity has had such a great impact on me. And I'm so thankful for it.
What struck me is when you said you would watch him drop everything. If someone needed something, whatever, I don't know, big, small, but within his sphere of influence, someone that he worked with, that he cared about, and probably elsewhere in his life, he truly cared about people. And I think that might be one of the biggest lessons that many leaders can take with them, is that we're dealing with people that have lives outside of work, people that want to do good at work. But the idea of just dropping everything, that I felt that I could actually see, for me, it was seeing someone just drop some bags. This is what my stuff, I'm dropping it right now to not deal with, but to be with this person. I think that's beautiful. You mentioned that you get the bits and pieces of training before everyone else does. You try things before they do. And one of the questions I had was, how do you continue to learn and grow today? I know you have that. Is there anything else you do? How do you continue to learn and grow as a leader, as a person?
Yeah. So I don't think I would be in this role if I truly didn't believe in lifelong learning. And I am a true believer of that. And being a believer of that means, you're all in. And so I just recently finished an 8-week leadership course at a college, because oftentimes what comes to the company, we select that. And, I'm with peers or other folks in the company, and I feel like iron sharpens iron. So to take a college class and to be with individuals that come from entirely different worlds than I come from, and sit alongside them and hear their leadership challenges and see how they're doing things, would only make me better. And, for some folks, it's interesting to me, they come through training and I'll say, well, we're going to have a leadership course. Oh, I've already had leadership. It's like leadership isn't a one and done. Leadership is forever. It's forever. Even when I don't work here anymore, leadership's forever. It doesn't matter if it's in my family, if it's in my community, leadership's forever. And I think we can be better every single day. So I just finished an 8-week college course, and I'm telling you that the most challenging thing out of that course was that whole citing that paper appropriately, right? It challenged me to go back and write a college paper, but it was so good for me. It was not easy, but it was good for me. And it was good to see what other people had to say and for them to challenge me on some things because sometimes when you're in the same organization for 25 years, thought processes, tend to align. And it was good to be challenged a little bit.
I was going to say that getting that pushback, if you will, positive pushback, can change your perspective and to be more open to influence by others. You mentioned iron sharpens iron. And as we continue our education, we do get to meet those people that are, they want to sharpen themselves as well. If there was a piece of advice that you could give every leader, so imagine every leader on the planet is going to take Staci's advice, what would be that one piece of advice for others that want to learn and grow?
Yeah. Erica, I think you and I know each other so well, and you know how simple I am. So I'm going to put this in simple agricultural Indiana terms. Leadership is like farming. You're going to plant the seed and you're going to tend to it, and you're not going to see the harvest immediately. And so know that as a leader, every day you're planting seeds. Some of that you may never reap the harvest, because I think individuals have to be in a spot to receive it. And I would tell you that leader that touched my life, 15, 17 years ago, today, I remember some of the things that he said that truly resonate with me today that probably didn't 17 years ago in the same way. And so I think as leaders, we need to remember that, you can cultivate a good seed or a bad seed, but, be intentional about what you're doing.
I love that. Be intentional, and we're always planting seeds. Always. I want to let you know that working with you, getting to know you, sharing pictures of our grandkids, doing those things, I have learned from you, even in the way that you send emails. It might not be a big deal to everybody else in the world, but there are little things that I have learned from you that I haven't said. I do want to thank you, and the way you acknowledge others in what they are doing, the way you've acknowledged me, just little moments of thanks and gratitude have been meaningful. And I feel lucky to know you. And I'm so thrilled that there are people in an official capacity that can call you leader, because I know that you're able to touch their lives and that you're planting little seeds all the time, because you've planted them in my life. So I want to thank you for this interview and taking time out of your day to share with others.
Well, thank you. This has truly been my pleasure. And, I think the one of the best things about working with you, personally, professionally, is that I know we're going to show each other grace, and we're going to give that grace. And if one of us makes a mistake, we're going to smile about that, and we're going to have each other's backs, and we're going to say, okay, but how do we move forward from here?
Exactly. Well, I will not take more of your time. Again, I thank you, and we're going to move forward from here like we do all the time.
All right.
Smile
Thank you.
on our face, laughter. Thank you so much.